Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, everyone, to the channel. So, we've had this huge stock market crash. The market, Friday through yesterday, is down close to 2,000 points. Inflation is at the highest that any adult in the workforce has ever experienced. I mean, this is stuff that even like my parents, when when there was bad inflation like this, were like kids probably. So this is the worst inflation that almost the entire population of the country have experienced. And there's no sign that anything's going to get better, not with Kamala Harris running the show and Joe Biden. And, when you look at the economic troubles we're in, look what yesterday it was trending. Kamala Krash. Kamala Krash. So what caused the market crash? Well, a number of things caused it, but what was the final move that caused the problem was the Democrats announcing that Kamala Harris was going to be their nominee without her even receiving a single vote. And I want you guys to think about this. Kamala has not received a single vote. She's not taken a single question. She's not had a single press conference. She's not done a single debate. She says she's not going to do a debate. The stock market is tanking. The overall economy is in the toilet. Inflation is at the highest level any of us have ever experienced. And she says, make me president, as opposed to this guy, Donald Trump, who's Mr. Monopoly. He is an economist. He is famous, not because he is a politician. He was famous for decades before that because Donald Trump's name means money, economic success, financial success, right? So who are people going to turn the country over to in a time like this? Some San Francisco liberal who's never had a job outside of government, that doesn't even understand what inflation is, what's going on. She has no understanding of any of these things. Or a guy that if they made the Monopoly game today, he would be the model for it, Mr. Monopoly, Donald Trump. Yeah, we definitely need Trump. And I was just going over the latest polls, and this is absolutely amazing. Now, they're going to start coming out. The media hate Trump, okay? And the media would rather us go into a Great Depression than say Trump's the solution or Trump was right, okay? So what the media are going to start doing now, I've already seen a little bit of it, they're starting to release national polls. And they're going to say, look, Kamala's ahead. Kamala's ahead. That's a bunch of nonsense. She's not ahead of anything, okay? Number one, national polls are meaningless. It's all about the battleground states, or sometimes they're referred to as the toss-up states. And even David Axelrod on CNN yesterday said Trump is winning in all the battleground states. And I pulled it up. All this talk about this lowlife governor of Pennsylvania, Trump's ahead in Pennsylvania. And Real Clear Politics, with the Real Clear Politics average, the latest electoral college count that they have gives, now remember, you need 270 electoral votes to win. They give Trump 297 electoral votes and Kamala 241. And they are saying that there are no toss-up states with the Real Clear Politics average. And the Real Clear Politics average is really the gold standard that people go by. Now, we don't get the internal polls that the campaigns have and the parties have that give us the real numbers that show Trump's even further ahead than this. But out of the publicly available polls, which lean left, they always lean to the Democrats. There are no toss-up states. That's absolutely amazing. And even if she picks the governor of Pennsylvania and he gives Pennsylvania to Kamala, which is not a sure thing. I mean, from what I'm hearing, he's hated in Pennsylvania, just like here in Florida. We don't like DeSantis. We used to. until he betrayed us and Trump. But even if she were to take Pennsylvania, Trump still wins. Pennsylvania is only 19 electoral college votes. Yeah, that's exactly right. So you got to ask yourself, in times of economic trouble, what would Kamala do? You know what she would do? Nothing, because she doesn't know what to do. That's what she would do. Nothing. Yeah. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. You'll enjoy my content, I promise. And those of you that are already sub, please like the video. But, so the poll numbers are looking great. And reality is the worse the economy gets, the better it'll be for Trump, because people know when it comes to financial success, when it comes to money issues, Trump is the man. So right now, Trump and J.D. Vance have it locked up. The Real Clear Politics average is now reporting no toss-up states. Isn't that something? So now what we're going to start, again, they've already started with these national polls. The national polls mean nothing because they include California, they include Chicago, Illinois, Oregon, Washington State, New York State. And because of the electoral college system, most of the country is already decided. And in this election cycle, we have, 7 7 toss-up states, 7 battleground states is all we have in this election. Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. And the Real Clear Politics average, it gives, and with the for those that don't know, what Real Clear Politics does, and they have all the polls, okay? The mainstream media, what they'll do, like Fox, is that, they'll commission a poll so that they have something to talk about, and they just have one poll. What Real Clear Politics does is they have all the polls, and you can go to realclearpolitics.com. You can, when you go there, you'll be on the front page. Go to the top menu bar where it says Election 2024, and then go to Trump versus Harris, and you'll get all these polls, okay? And what Real Clear Politics does, for those that don't know, they take all the polls and they list them all for the whole country, up to date. They update them in real time, and then they go through all the different states. In this instance, they're breaking down the toss-up states, battleground states. And when they go to the individual states, like Michigan, for example, there's 4, maybe 5 polls in Michigan. They give you all the polls that are being done in Michigan or Arizona or Georgia, all right? And then they average those polls together. So what that does is it gives you the Real Clear Politics average. And, some of these polls are okay. Some of them are very left-leaning. They're never right-leaning, okay? If they're leaning somewhere, they're always leaning to the Democrats. They oversample Democrats and all these things. So what the average does is it wipes out these outliers, right? And the trend has always been, from the beginning, in Trump's favor, as it is today, more than 2 weeks since Kamala Harris started running for president without getting a single vote. I mean, this is nuts, right? So there you have it. So, with Real Clear Politics now saying there are no toss-up states, that's actually massive. That's massive. Now, I pinned a link in the chat. That's a free Kindle book. It's a Christian book. If you're a Christian, it's a great book. You can get that book for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. If you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it's very inexpensive. But if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get this book for free. I linked it, pinned it right to the top of the chat. Unlocking Your Faith, Seeking God's Purpose. So if you click that link and you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get that book for free. I got it for free on Kindle Unlimited myself, and you can do the same. So if you don't mind doing that, I'd appreciate it. And you know what? I'm going to put the link in the description of the video. Well, let me do that now for people that are not watching live. Hold on, let me do that real quick, and then we'll get back to this. But I'll tell you, the Real Clear Politics average is what I go by in every election. It is very accurate, and it tells you what is really going on. Okay, I'm going to put this in the. Hold on. I'm putting this book, this free book link in the description. Okay. All right, I just put the link to the free Kindle book in the description too. So if you're not watching live, you can go into the description of the video and you'll see it says free Kindle Unlimited Christian book. You click that and you can get that book for free on Kindle Unlimited. And I appreciate if you did, all right? Thanks so much. So here we are. You know, we're 3 months out from the election. And this is when the fake news media go into overdrive, okay? They're going to go into overdrive. They're going to try to discourage Republicans. They're going to try to panic Trump supporters. Don't panic. Don't worry. Everything is cool. You know, of course, we've got to have a massive turnout. We've got to swamp them at the polls, like President Trump says, but everything is cool. Oh, you're welcome to disagree with me. I don't mind. You know, you don't have to agree with me to watch or listen to what I have to say. Now, on my next stream, which will be in about 3 hours, I'll be at the radio studio taking live calls. And I'm not going to get into this now. I'm going to talk about it on the next stream. But Kamala Harris was kicked out of the White House Situation Room yesterday. And during all of this discussion on what's going on with Iran, which is unheard of, kicked out, removed from the White House Situation Room. Isn't that insane? They let people with cocaine around there, but they kicked her out. So we'll talk about that on the next stream, and that video is already ready to go. So when I end this stream, you can just hop over there. The chat room's already going. But this Kamala Krash that we're going through right now, that's right, she's 60 years old. Kamala Harris, people that are obsessed with age, she's a 60-year-old lady, 2 years away from Social Security retirement age. Okay, she's a senior citizen. I got nothing wrong with, there are no problems with senior citizens, but a lot of these Democrats are like, oh, you want someone old? She's an old lady, and she hasn't had a job. She doesn't know what to do, and the country's in major economic trouble. Now, there's been a lot of talk. They were giving Trump a hard time at the Black Journalists Association. Are you saying that Kamala's a DEI hire, a DEI hire? Well, if you look at the left that are pushing Kamala Harris, why are they pushing her? What do they tell you? She's the first minority woman to be nominated by a major party for president of the United States. So you should vote for her. Isn't that what the left are telling you? Well, isn't that a DEI hire? Right? Isn't that a DEI hire? If you're telling people, oh, this is historic, first minority woman to be nominated for president by a major party, you got to vote for her. That's a DEI vote. That's a DEI hire. By the way, DEI it stands for didn't earn it. But yeah, I'm trying to get that going. DEI didn't earn it. Maybe we can get that going. You guys can help. No, Trump doesn't take a salary. No, he donates a salary every time he gets paid. So I don't know why there's a controversy about whether or not she's a DEI hire, because that's all the Democrats are running on right now. Right? So why is it racist for Donald Trump to say she's a DEI hire when the Democrats are telling you to vote for her because she's the first minority woman? Notice they don't say black woman. The first minority woman to get the nomination for president. That's a DEI campaign. That's a DEI vote. That's right. Quality, competence. The thing, the odds, about 99% easily. Yeah. Nothing's 100% in this world. Um, you know, I've been talking about this the last couple weeks. If things in the country were going well, okay, if things in the country were going well, Kamala would have a chance, but they're not. Things in the country are really going poorly. I was reading an article this morning because parents are getting their kids back to school things, and parents are saying that they're going to have to do without food and other necessities to be able to buy their kids' school supplies starting the new year. What the hell? It shouldn't be like that in America. It wasn't that way when Trump was in his first term, was it? And does Kamala care? No. She's a childless cat lady. She has no kids. She hasn't earned anything in her life. And she doesn't understand the sacrifices that moms and dads make for their children because she's never made any sacrifices for children. The only thing she's done are things to better herself. Hawaii. Aloha from Hawaii. Welcome. That's right. That's why she won't take a single question. Think about this. Not only has she not taken a single question from the press are on her side, and she's afraid of them. That's how bad she is. There's so many things she's hiding from. The economic. She's afraid they'll ask her a question on anything because she doesn't understand much of anything. But she has a lot of scandal around her. Being kicked out of the White House yesterday, that's a big deal. I've never heard of a vice president being removed from the White House Situation Room. Have you? Never heard of that before. Her husband's sex scandal. He may have forced an abortion. They may be paying hush money to this nanny that had the husband's baby. We don't know. She's afraid of that. She's afraid of the questions about whether or not she's black. She's afraid of everything. She's a woman that has a lot to cover up and a lot to hide. So what she's asking you is this. I didn't get a single vote. I haven't taken a single question. I haven't had a single press conference. I'm not going to have a single debate, but make me president. Really? Really? Why would you make someone president that hasn't gotten a single vote, hasn't had a single question, hasn't had a single press conference, or hasn't had a single debate? Why would you want to make them president? Or hasn't had a single job either? Exactly. Exactly. I mean, she's asking quite a lot of people. If you think about it, it's really insane. Yeah, I know. I'm not a DEI hire, but vote for me because I'm the first minority woman. But I'm not DEI. But vote for me on this DEI issue. Are you kidding me? Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, all right? This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm the most pro-Donald Trump MAGA guy you'll find anywhere. And obviously, I'm biased. I love Trump. But my analysis of everything is spot on. If things were not going well for Trump, I would be telling you because I would want you knocking on doors to get people to go out and vote on Election Day. Now, we do still have to do that. We still need to knock on doors. We have to swamp them at the polls. We have to have the largest turnout the Republican Party has ever had, okay? But the country is on Trump's side. I mean, look at what happened yesterday with Aiden Ross. Here you've got this Gen Z kid with a massive following on Kick, huge streaming following on Kick. He shows up at Mar-a-Lago, interviews Trump, massive interview. He had over 500,000 people watching it live. Now many millions have seen it. He gave Trump a Rolex watch and that Cybertruck. Right? Gen Z. Gen Z is with Trump. And then what do we find out? Kamala Harris and her team are trying to pay influencers to come to the Democrat convention later this month and pretend to like her, right? The Gen Z influencers are paying Trump. They're giving him gifts. She's paying. There's one OnlyFans model that said the Kamala Harris campaign offered her $1,200 to do videos promoting Kamala. Who wants an OnlyFans model to endorse them? Well, I guess Kamala. That's her people, I guess. I don't know anything about Aiden Ross. I had not heard of Aiden Ross before yesterday. But it's a tell on the youth vote. right? Where it's going. And it is so unusual for a Republican to have the youngest voters en masse, in the millions, supporting them, like Aiden Ross and many others in Gen Z are doing. It's amazing. You know, no, she's in trouble. She's in trouble with the black vote. She's in trouble with the youth vote. These are groups that Democrats take for granted, right? And they're on the Trump train. And you know what? They know it. It's really almost like they're setting up Kamala. It's almost like nobody else wanted this because they know they're going to lose to Trump, so they gave it to Kamala because no one else wanted to go up against Trump. But something is going on at the White House for them to kick her out of the Situation Room, and I hope we get more detail on that as the day goes on, because that is something I have never heard happen before. hmm I mean, why would you not want Trump back in a second term, especially with the economy like it is, right? There's no reason not to want him back. I mean, you would have to be out of your mind. You're gonna put, now if you live off the government or live off of mommy and daddy, you may not be feeling the pinch you think, but you are, because inflation, it hits everybody, but it hits the poorest of the poor the most, right? The less money you have, the harder you're hit by inflation. So even people that are low income and on government assistance or minimum wage, they're feeling it more than other people are. And, Trump has these great, great promises that he's making. And we know from his first term, when he makes a promise, he keeps it. No tax on tips, which is amazing. Tip workers don't include just waitresses and bartenders, which is a lot of people, but includes Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, Uber Eats, Instacart drivers. That a whole group of people will no longer have to pay taxes on their tips. That's a huge raise, right? Isn't that amazing? No tax on tips, right? No tax on tips. And then President Trump came out last week and said no tax on Social Security. That's your senior vote. Okay, no tax on Social Security. That's huge. I don't know why seniors have to pay taxes on Social Security now, right? That's money the government took from them out of every paycheck their entire life. The government holds on to it in accounts that accrue interest and make money on it. They give you back the money they took from you in very small little doses, and they want to tax you on it. That's insane. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. That's awesome. What's Kamala Harris offering? Vote for me. I'm the first minority female. What does that mean? How does that help you? hmm I mean, and the no tax on tips and no tax on Social Security. Who would have even thought of that other than Trump? And you see the reaction of the left. The left's immediate reaction is to shut that down. It puts them in a complete panic, doesn't it? It absolutely does. Oh, Trump's absolutely amazing. He thinks about things, and it's outside the box thinking. He doesn't think like a normal politician, right? My camera quality is phenomenal. I'm using my iPhone, and this is the 14. It's not even a 15. I try to get every other iPhone, but this 14, I stream with it every day. Cruiserweight, $10 super chat. I work overnights. It seems like you do too. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I do. I've been up since 1, and I got up. I did my show prep. If you notice, I got the other stream already set up. So basically, I've been telling my wife the last few months I would really like to shift my schedule to kind of more of an overnight schedule. But, I do my podcast in the afternoon, so, like 12 hours. I'll do the 3-hour radio show in less than 3 hours. Then I don't get much sleep. I'll do the 3-hour radio show this morning from 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern, which I'm going to live stream here. I already got the stream set up. It's the one about Kamala getting kicked out of the White House. Then I do have work to do. I have business meetings. I got to go to a meeting right after I get off the air today and got all that. And then when I'm done with all my meetings, I have to do the podcast because we have a new podcast episode this afternoon with my wife. And the podcast is a tremendous amount of work because, I got to record it. Well, I got to do prep for it because, want to be up to date with what's going on in the afternoon news cycle. And got to record it and then edit it. And then I have to do different versions of it, right? I got to edit it and do all the processing and everything. There's 3 versions of every podcast. I got to edit a version for the podcast platforms. The Brian Craig Show podcast is on all podcast platforms. Then I've got to edit a version for YouTube, right? And then I got to edit a third version for my Patreon supporters, which is the commercial-free edition and everything that all Patreon supporters have access to. So the podcast is about a 3-hour. If I don't have any problems or hiccups and I work fast from the time, not including show prep, but from the time we start the show until I have all of it uploaded on all the platforms and Patreon and the different versions, it's about a 3.5 hour ordeal. Well, it takes a tremendous amount of work. It's more work than the 3-hour radio show, believe it or not. So no, and I went to bed last night around 9, but I didn't go to sleep till 10-ish, so I got about 3 hours sleep. If we ended the taxes on overtime, people, this is the thing about the no taxes on tips, okay, and taxes in general. Whenever the government does tax cuts, what they really do, for the most part, sometimes they'll do specific things like increase the child tax credit and stuff, but they'll change the tax brackets. People that are tip workers are in a lower income tax bracket where they really get no tax relief when they just change the brackets. They get left out. So no taxes on tips is probably the biggest tax break for those level of workers ever in history. And I know, I remember when this came out on Fox, these Republican establishment people says, "Oh, a tax cut just for a certain group of people." What a stupid thing. These people never get tax breaks, right? These people never get tax breaks. So tip workers, this may be the first tax break most of them have ever gotten. So that's incredible. That's awesome. James loves the show. Thank you. So they should get a tax break. They never get it. That's awesome. And so far as lower taxes, when people have their taxes cut, they have more money. What do they do with it? They spend it. They put it back in the economy. The government actually raises more money in tax revenues when taxes are lower because people are spending more money. And that's a reality, okay? That's one of the reasons, other than the fact that the Democrats announced Kamala was going to be their nominee, that's one of the reasons that the stock market's tanking. People are not spending enough money because they don't have it. They don't have it, I mean, I'm sure you guys in this room, like me, are feeling the pinch. Inflationary cost. They're going through the roof. I have to get one of my cars fixed this week, and I got one car that's really old that I keep. It's got about 150,000 miles on it, a Kia Sorento. It's a 2011. It's an old car I keep. And it's the car I typically drive to work, and the power steering line blew. So I got to take it and get a new power steering line in it. That's happened before. Happened a few years ago, and I'm like regretting it. I'm not regretting it. I'm dreading taking it because last week I had to buy a new battery for the car. And I've had the car so long, I've bought a number of batteries, and the battery price has about doubled from the last time I bought a battery for the car. And I'm like, last time I can't remember how much it cost me the last time I had the power steering line replaced. But it wasn't that much. But I'm expecting it, because of inflation, to be, I don't know, about $500, $500 to $600. Buy American. This Kia Sorento it's a 2011, 150,000 miles, and it runs great. Little maintenance here and there. I know it's a good car. It's done me well. But I'm just really dreading taking it in. I haven't taken it in yet this week, really, because I don't want to. I've been busy, but I don't want to get the bad news of how much it's going to cost me. It's going to cost me this time. No, Trump is going back to outdoor rallies, and he's going back to Pennsylvania. Yeah, a South Korean car. That is correct. Mm-hmm. A lot of the trolls at this hour of the morning are probably punk gamers living with mommy and daddy. That's it. I've had nothing but great experiences with Kia vehicles. I got a Kia for my daughter. Never had a problem with any of the Kias that's major. Won't last. It's a 2011. It's 2024, and it drives well. Minor maintenance. Last. I've never had a car this long. That's a long time, man. Kamala's the twerking czar. This country is going through so many problems right now, right? We're being invaded at our southern border. There's a massive crime wave of illegal criminals. Just a tremendous amount of problems going on, and they're going to hand who would hand the country over to a San Francisco liberal, and no matter who they are, especially this moron Kamala Harris. I mean, she's as dumb gets. No one in their right mind would turn the country over during an invasion, major economic problems, the highest inflation any of us have ever lived through, to some cackling San Francisco liberal. Who would do that? Ignorant vote. Well, people in liberal places, Chicago, California, but not in the battleground states. And I'm going to go through this on the next stream too today because it's so important. But if you rewind to the beginning of the stream, I get in a little more detail. But the Real Clear Politics average is now saying there are no toss-up states, that it's all settled in now. And let me pull it up. The Real Clear Politics Electoral College says there were no toss-up states. Everything is firmed up. And they have Trump at 297 Electoral College votes and Kamala at 241. And you only need 270 to win. So, yeah. So even if Kamala gets Pennsylvania, if she picks this idiot governor that's got a real dark past, Trump would still win. So that's looking pretty solid. Now, that's the way it is. I mean, and in some of these battleground states, Trump's doing, like in Virginia, Trump is up in Virginia in the latest poll. I mean, think about that. That's not a toss-up state, but he's up in Virginia. So, let the media come out with their meaningless national polls. It's always decided in the battlegrounds. That's just the way it is, okay? You go to the battleground states, and that is how it is. And he is winning in all of them, and it's solid. And even David Axelrod, who works still for Obama, says Trump is leading in the battleground states. So what more do you need? No doubt about it. Trump was the best president of our lives. No doubt about that, Jay Lodge. That's not even up for debate. Donald Trump is the best president in any living person's life. Maybe the best president we've ever had. That's right. I mean, look at what he did. It was absolutely amazing. hmm Who was better? Who was a better president than Donald Trump in our lifetime? Come on. No one. No one. You know, most presidents. What Trump really showed is how little the other presidents have done. The presidents before Trump really are just spokesmodels. They really don't do any work. They get briefed and have little press conferences every once in a while, make statements here and there, but they really don't do anything. Trump does. That's one of the things that the Washington class don't like about him, that he actually runs the country. They don't like that. They like the bureaucracy and the donors to run the country. Well, you can't help a disaster. That's like blaming DeSantis for the hurricane that just hit Florida. President Reagan was the closest, yeah, but not as good. hmm Oh yeah, things are going well now. And again, like I said, if things were going well in the country, if we weren't being invaded, if the inflation wasn't at 50%, if the stock market wasn't tanking, and if we didn't have these wars that Biden's responsible for around the world, Israel, Hamas, Israel, Iran, Ukraine, Russia, if everything was going well in the country and the world, Kamala would have a chance. But things are not going well in the world, and people are not going to turn the country over in this kind of condition to some San Francisco liberal. Even if you had a smart one, I don't know if you could be a smart San Francisco. If you're smart, you wouldn't be a liberal, and you wouldn't be in San Francisco. But you know what I mean. Exactly. Now, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, all right, guys? If you're new to my channel, subscribe. If you are already subbed, please like the video. And I pinned to the top of the chat a free Kindle book, and there's a link in the description. It's a Christian book. It's called Unlocking Your Faith, Seeking God's Purpose. If you click that link, either in the video description or the pinned link at the top of the chat, and you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get that book for free. I got it for free. But if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it's very inexpensive to buy, and it's a great Christian book, Unlocking Your Faith, Seeking God's Purpose. Click that link, and if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get the book for free. Pretty good deal, huh? Now, my next stream starts in about 2.5 hours, and I already have it up there. It is, I'm going to lead with this topic. Or with this story. Kamala was kicked out of the White House Situation Room yesterday and sped away from the White House, and that's what I'm going to be talking about on the next stream. And when I end this one, you can hop over there, and that chat room is already there, and you can chat away over there until I go live around 6 a.m., and then I'll be taking live calls because I'll be in the radio studio. Well, how about protect everybody? Why won't Kamala come out of hiding and do an interview? Because she's hiding from anything. She's afraid they're going to ask her a question. I mean, she's not bright. She's got a lot of baggage, okay? She's got a lot of things she's hiding that I've been talking about the last couple weeks, in particular yesterday. Oh my goodness. I mean, she's got a lot of problems. I mean, her brother-in-law, who is a senior advisor on her campaign, was an attorney for Taliban terrorists, okay, that took up arms against the United States. That's pretty bad. Her husband's affair with the nanny that he impregnated, tried to get her to have an abortion, and all these things. She's got a lot to hide from. Plus, they might ask her some questions that require knowledge, and she doesn't have a lot of that either, right? So, some of the dumbest people I know and have known throughout my entire life have advanced college degrees. Okay? You know, that's the sad reality of things, isn't it? All right, guys, I got to run and finish getting ready for work. But again, subscribe if you're new, like the video, and I'll see you on the next stream. All right, and don't forget, if you got Kindle Unlimited, get that free Christian book available on Kindle Unlimited. Click the link either in the description of the video or pinned to the chat. All right, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you in a bit. Thanks for watching, everyone.